G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steeler Nation Australia. Unpopular opinion. Gunnar Olszewski, this guy, I should have put him on the other side, but this guy makes the team. But Gunnar Olszewski, I do believe, actually, I'm going to make a few points why I believe that Gunnar Olszewski is going to make the team. I think he will. First of all, my first point why I think he's going to make the team, I think just for depth. The way I see it now is you have George Pickens, he's one, or Deontay Johnson's one or two. Either way, it doesn't matter. DJ's one, Pickens is two, Allen Robinson is three, Calvin Austin makes a team, he's four. That's four receivers. Now, who are 5 and 6? Who are 5 and 6? 5, you can make the argument for it could be Miles Boykin because he's going to play gunner on teams. And 6, you can also make the opinion that Gunnar Olszewski can be 6. That can happen. Because you look to the roster, right? And you think, who else is going to make the team? I don't know that Cody White has had a strong enough game last week versus the BUCS. He needs a big game versus the Bills this week or a strong enough camp. Same point too, Hakeem Butler, number 21. I don't think he's done enough either to make the team to be a 5th receiver or to be a 6. And this is my example. I do believe the Steelers are going to carry 6 receivers into the season. So let's count out Cody White. He'll miss again. Hakeem Butler, he misses. Then you're left with on the roster, Jordan Byrd, Dez Fitzpatrick, and Dan Chisner. I didn't see enough from Dez. I didn't see enough from Dan Chisner, 85-82. The only other guy we saw on the roster last week for the BUCS versus the BUCS was Jordan Byrd. He was doing punt returns and kickoff returns. They gave him a shot. And this is why I think that Gunnar Olszewski makes a team, right? And I know it's a very unpopular opinion right now, but I think it may happen. If you look to the snaps, right? I went to, where did I find this? This is from yardbarker.com. I will try and leave the link in the description. There's got so many snaps, guys. I'm going to try and revert back this as much as I can throughout the season. It counts every single snap for every single player. Now, Gunnar Olszewski on this list, out of all the receivers, had the most snaps. He had 31 snaps in the game, 49%. And by the way, guys, I'm not too sure what that 58.5 means. That could mean, I have no idea what that third column means. All I know is that the second column is 49% means it's the amount of percentage and 31 snaps on the field. I got to figure out what the third column means. But Deontay had 9, George Pickens had 8, Allen Robinson had 9. That was the first drive. Then Gunnar Olszewski came into play with Trubisky and also came into play with Rudolph. I don't know if he played with Tanner Morgan or not, but I feel like he may have had a few snaps there because he had 31. Miles Boykin had 14. So if they can find a role, if Miles Boykin have some sort of establish himself as maybe the 5th receiver, like he doesn't need to catch the ball, but maybe be out there for blocking and stuff like that, because we already have catches with George Pickens, Deontay Robinson, Freiermuth, Warren, Najee. You have Calvin Austin. So many guys who can catch the ball, McFarland, that you don't overly need number 5 and 6 to go and catch the ball. But in saying that, Miles Boykin was out there for 14. Cody White was out there a long time. He didn't impress me that much. I don't think he's on the outside looking in. And the other guys like Fitzpatrick and Hakeem Butler and the other dudes didn't do too much. The only guy on this list that had the most snaps from last week is Gunnar Olszewski. And you're probably thinking, well, Gunnar sucks, man. Gunnar, he had the drop punt last year. He didn't do anything. He's slow. He's a Ryan Switzer copy. I don't know. I think the Steelers kind of like him. And I'm just putting it out there. And I'm not just saying this to be right. I'm saying this because I've been trying to figure out how the Steelers would do things. I think they're going to go with 4. They're going to go with Pickens, Deontay, Robinson, Calvin Austin as the 4. And there are 3 guys on the field in that trio set that we had the first drive. And then Calvin Austin can be the jet sweep dude. He can be the long bomb. If Kenny throws the bomb down there, we saw Mason Rudolph do it, right? So I'm just saying that I think that Gunnar might make the team based on his availability and the amount of snaps he's playing. And also, here's another thing why. My point 2, that was a long point. But point number 2 why I think Gunnar's going to make it. I think he'll make the team because if you put back there, we saw on the weekend or last weekend from the BUCS game, and it's great seeing footballs back again. We saw that from the BUCS game, you had Jordan Byrd fielding punts. They gave him a shot to do that. He's got to stand out to make the team. He has to. He needs to stand out to make the team. Otherwise, he'll be cut or be on the practice squad. So we saw him returning punts. We saw him returning kickoff returns. We saw McFarland returning kickoff returns too. But Olszewski has a history of doing that. If you go to his stats too, because he used to be from New England, right? So he's done it before. His punt return history, he has over 889 yards, and I understand he had a bad year last year, but you can always get better. You can improve your craft, and it's a new season, right? If we're giving a new season for Matt Canada, why can't we give a new season for Gunnar Olszewski? So his return yards is 889, 1 TD. Last year, he had 16 games, 2 starts, 8 returns, 55, pretty average, 6.9, his lowest in his career. 2 years ago, he had 17.3. Year before, he had 11.9, all right? It might be a chance, though. To be honest, the more that the Steelers use Calvin Austin in their offense, they might use him less at punt return. And you're probably saying, no way, dude, no way. Put Calvin Austin at punt return. Put Calvin Austin at kick return. Well, this year, actually, the kick return is quite different. I actually think, I think we're going to see on kick return, I could see Olszewski back there next to McFarland. I could see that, those two guys. Or maybe even Connor Haywood might have a role. You might have McFarland and Haywood, because I don't really see much chance where you're going to try and run them back. If you're going to wave your hand for the flag or fair catch and move the ball from the 5-yard to the 25-yard line, I think you could see McFarland and Haywood back there and possibly Olszewski. But if you're going to put Austin in situations where he's playing more offensive snaps and a bigger role, if he starts to carve out a bigger role for the Steelers, do you want him back there in case of injury or a chance to get hit on the punt return team? I don't think so. Now, we also saw back in the day that Antonio Brown did both. He both did the punt return, and he was a great receiver, right? We've seen Deontay Johnson return back punts too. But at what time do you carve out a role for Calvin Austin to say, okay, he's doing fantastic things on the offense, jet sweeps, motions, rushes, in the slot, working that or going deep and carving out a huge role, to then you say, you know what, mate, we can't have you there on the punt return team. Who do you go back to? You go back to Gunnar Olszewski, all right? Now, if you do start with Calvin Austin on the punt return team, fantastic. Let's hope he lights it up. But then to back him up, who's it going to be? I believe he was an all-pro too. I think he was an all-pro punt return guy. You have Olszewski. Now, also going back to the snap count, I believe Gunnar too, if you look at some of his tape and some of his when he is playing in there, he's a gritty guy. Not the fastest guy, not the tallest guy, but he's pretty gritty, right? So when he's in there, he gets physical. He gets involved in the block. I could see him being involved in jet sweeps and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, hopefully I've made my case for Gunnar Olszewski. Here's the main points why I finish it up, as I say, show Gunnar on the TV screen there. The main points are, I think, just going back to depth. So the Steelers, the guys who have a chance to make the roster, Miles Boykin for his role in Gunnar and teams. If he makes a roster at 5 or 6, he'll be teams. So therefore, you have like a 5th option open. Who's going to be receiver number 5 if they go that direction? That's why I think Gunnar Olszewski makes a team. I don't know if Akeem Butler can carve that out. I don't know if Cody White can do enough to carve out that role also. I feel like they have more trust in Gunnar O. And then you go back to the other guys like Jordan Bird. Can he make the team? So at this kind of point, it's like, well, Gunnar Olszewski can be 5 or 6. Then who's the other guys who are going to take his spot? Because I don't see any guys doing that at this point. If we have a big camp from Akeem Butler or a massive camp in preseason games from Jordan Bird or Cody White, then yes, there might be some competition. But right now, the fact that the Steelers have given him over 50% of snaps, that shows me they want to use him in the offense. That shows me that they have some trust for Gunnar O. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. I believe he's going to make the roster. He'll make the team. And yes, it's a very unpopular opinion because a lot of people are like, nah, dude, cut him. He sucks. He's terrible. But I just feel like he's going to make it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later.